Good morning. So I got a question for y'all this morning. Who is your role model? Might be dead, alive, could be anyone, anything, I guess, too. Who is your role model? The definition of a role model is a person looked to by others as an example to be intimidated or intimidated. So who I thought of first was J.J. Watt, because I looked to him so much for a while, like what he's done on and off the field, and just how he is as a person, how he's hardworking, and just how he's just strong through each injury. He keeps on pushing back. Now he's retired. But that was the first person that came to my mind. Then I looked to the Bible, and someone came to my mind most people don't really think of. Usually when they think of someone like that they look to is like Jesus, obviously. And I feel a lot of people look to Paul for role models in the Bible. But the one I thought of and I was looking at, some people joke about and sing about, is Zacchaeus. And I feel like everybody knows the story, but not everybody really thinks about him too much. If y'all want to go ahead and turn there, Luke 19, that's where we're going to be this morning. Zacchaeus just really stood out to me. I'll talk about it more later, but he's just not what people usually think of. I'll start reading here, the beginning of it. Then Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. Now, behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector, and he was rich. Just being there, being a tax collector, most tax collectors are hated, and Zacchaeus is one of those ones that's hated a lot. And if you see in Matthew, I forgot where, but we can also see Matthew was a tax collector, and it doesn't talk too much about that, but we know Matthew was a tax collector before he became an apostle. If we continue reading in verse 3, and he sought out to see who Jesus was, but could not because of the crowd, for he was a short statured. So he ran ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was going to pass that way. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and saw him. And he said, Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for today I must stay at your house. So we see here Zacchaeus didn't just stand around and wait for Jesus to come. He climbed a tree and looked for him, because since he was short and he couldn't really see him, he would just be there for nothing, and he probably couldn't really hear him the best either. So he climbed the tree just so he can hear him better. He went that extra step. And continue reading. So he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. But when they saw it, they all complained, saying, he has gone to be a guest with a man who is a sinner. So we see here again that the people don't like him because he's a tax collector, and they're known for sinning and lying about adding like extra taxes on and getting more money. And there are a lot of people hate them because of that fact and what they do. And if we continue reading in verse 8, then Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, look, Lord, I have I give half of my goods to the poor, and I have taken anything from anyone by false accusation, I restore fourfold. And Jesus said to him, Today salvation has come to this house, because he is the son of Abraham. For the Son of the Man has come to seek and to save that which was lost. So, a lot of people just read over that. They just see that Jesus just saw a guy climb a tree and ate at his house. They didn't really think much about it, but the way I see it is Zacchaeus went out of his way just for this and going that extra step to be known. Like, going around, do we go that extra step? Do people know that we're Christians by the way we act and going the extra steps as we should do without really thinking about it? But most of us just stop at bare minimum. We don't keep on going. I'm not saying we don't do it at all, but we don't do it as often as we should. And that's just really there for me, I feel like. And speaking of role models too, as we see here, someone once told me, you gotta find someone you're around a decent amount and try to make it a Christian and try to make them as your role model. It can be a few people, and just try to strive to be more godly like them and be around them to help build your life more as an example. In the Bible. Are y'all struggling turning y'all's life around? Are y'all struggling to go that extra step as we see Zacchaeus did? Well, there's plenty of people that can help y'all if y'all need anything here today. A few here today. And if y'all need anything, please come as we stand and sing.